All right, joined now by Mal Baker, caddy for Talor Gooch, Kessler Karain, Patrick Reed's looper, recent winners of the LIV Golf Team Championship in Miami season finale. You guys dominated all year long. That was your 5th team victory. Congratulations.
Thanks, man.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
Mal, congratulations to you as well. You didn't get a chance to chime in.
Okay, yeah, no, thanks. Appreciate it. Very cool.
I got to start with you. It's a little interesting. Like, new news, right? Like, I coming on Twitter last night and I see your boy got traded. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, my thoughts on that are that as you do when you're a caddy, you throw your lot in with your player, and I've always, trusted that Taylor's going to do the best for us in our team. So, I'm just going to throw my weight behind the best we can. Obviously, leaving the boys is a bit of a sad deal. We had a lot of camaraderie this year. The team did great, obviously. But, Taylor's always wanted to play with Harold and Bubba, and, we're going to look forward to, dominating on a new team next year. I'm sure Kess will have something to say about that.
Hey, I'm going to miss you, Mal. You know me. Like you said, we had a lot of good times, and our team definitely made a point to every week get together and build that camaraderie, which I definitely am going to cherish those memories for a long time to come. I think we'll look back years later and definitely cherish those.
Yeah, no doubt.
Would you say, obviously that team, the four aces, lots of talent on the team, but then you're referencing the camaraderie as well. Was that kind of what put you guys over the edge in terms of dominating so much this year, or what was the formula for you guys to just win so often and then close it out, in Miami?
A, definitely the talent factor. I think B, also those guys just really ham and egged it very well throughout the season. When someone had to come up on a day, they definitely made it happen. But I do think the getting together every week and building that camaraderie is a good factor to have in there. I've always learned over the Ryder Cup years, like the European team always on paper was, not quite favored, and they just always found a way to win. And if you ever look at their teams over the years, they always have a lot of camaraderie going on outside of the golf course. So yeah. I think that was something that we thought about.
Yeah, the camaraderie was something, that I haven't experienced in golf before. I don't have the history of, Ryder Cup and President's Cup stuff that Kess has got to make comparisons to, right? But it was something that it surprised me, the depth of it a little bit. In hindsight, I guess now that I actually know all of the guys that were involved in it, not just the players and the caddies, but, a couple of people working behind the scenes for us. Perhaps I wouldn't have been surprised had I known that going in, because, what a wonderful group of people. And being in a team thing, it does lift you, to a new level. But I think I would also add to that the level of camaraderie between all the LIV players this year, has been very, very strong. Players, caddies, any of the people alike. There's been a wonderful feeling amongst everybody. Something new and exciting. So, but yes, certainly the camaraderie amongst the players and the caddies was great.
Yeah, Kessler. The Sunday thing was, the format last week I thought was pretty cool. You guys got a bye in the first round of the match play, but then you had to, win your match on Saturday, and then Sunday was kind of just like, the first time where all 4 scores counted. I guess just talk a little bit about maybe feeling some extra pressure, a unique type of pressure maybe to perform on Sunday with it all on the line.
Yeah, it definitely wasn't a walk in the park, and it wasn't a Sunday stroll by any means. And in all the years of my caddying and all the moments that I was kind of looking back and being fortunate enough to experience as far as the historical times in golf, and I put it up there as far as like my nerves and everything. I put it up there with the top of my memories as far as 2018 Masters, Hazeltine, a lot of the WGC victories, you name it. But yeah, and when you're playing for something bigger than yourself as far as the team, you don't want to be that guy that doesn't bring it. You don't want to be the guy that drags the team down. And like I said, these guys all played as a team on Sunday. You had, everyone shot under par, and it was a true team victory. It wasn't like anyone was riding anyone's coattails. And that, things changed so quick with 4 scores. We went into the last hole thinking we had a lead, and all we have to do is like, all right, don't do anything too crazy, but definitely, finish this hole strong if we can. So between the tee shot and getting to the green, we noticed, we got to the green, we got 10 feet for birdie, and we look at the board right there. Luckily it was there, so we knew how bad we needed it, and it's all tie game. And we go, we're probably, besides Deej, the last people on the golf course for our team, so we have to have this putt. And Jimmy Johnson told me a while back, kind of to quote him, and he's definitely a Hall of Famer type caddy. He said, "Champions birdie the last hole always." And so that was going on in my mind, and knew I was reading this putt and luckily it went in, and then we ran and chased DJ down and let him finish strong, and boom, history was made.
Yeah, that's awesome. Mal, did you feel anything different on Sunday? And just the leaderboard watching, I didn't make it out there this year, but, I'm used to what you see on the PGA Tour, and there's so much more going on the LIV Tour in terms of the scoring. Were you tracking along like that as well?
Oh, yeah. All weekend it was sorry, you got a little loud there. There's a truck across the road. All weekend, and pretty much all season, again, the team aspect of the whole thing, quite honestly, we spent more time watching the team leaderboard this season than we did anything else. So I spent a lot of time basically from the first hole on Saturday seeing how everybody was doing. And, I can tell you that's probably the most intense golf weekend I've had in my career at all. It's not even close, really. That sense of not wanting to let your teammates down. We're playing the alternate shot with Pat Perez, but we're watching really close how Pat was doing, and how DJ was doing, and fortunately for us, DJ was having a pretty easy run of it with his match. He was obviously dominating his guy, but and then on Sunday, like Kess says, there's just one bad shot, one bad hole can ruin everything. Mark Leishman got off to a horrible start on Sunday, but he kept in it, and he just ground, and then he makes a late birdie, and even though he didn't have a great day, it almost made all the difference in the day. If it wasn't for Pat and Kess, we might have been looking down the barrel of the playoffs. So very, very intense, and lots of leaderboard watching.
Yeah. Pat deserves a lot of credit, because I think, all year long he was kind of getting beat up for, not, being a score that counted a lot. And then he goes out on Sunday and ties for the low score on the team. And obviously he's a tremendous golfer, winner, many times over. So, that was kind of cool to see him come through in the end for you guys. What about there's so much money out there, it seems like, more so than many people are used to. Caddying out on tour, you kind of get desensitized to it in the moment, right? You go out there, you do your job, you're not really thinking about this putt is worth this amount of money. But did that change at all this year? Did the money ever kind of come into play for you guys when you're out there on the golf course, kind of calculating things? It was such a great amount.
I'll let you go, Cass. You can go first.
Okay. I've just always kind of tried to stay by the philosophy of don't count your chickens until they hatch, because if you start thinking about counting money, you probably aren't focusing on what you need to be focusing on. Now, and also, as we said, the team aspect, usually most of the time I'm looking at a team leaderboard, I'm not thinking about the money. I'm thinking about what can we do to get the team up here. And like in Boston, I don't think I've ever grinded so hard for a T30 in my life. And if you had asked me when we finished our final hole Sunday in Boston, where we were on the individual part, I probably can give you a range, but I couldn't tell you exactly. But I knew the team pretty much had the lead, and then, like I said, once again we got to go watch Deej finish on 18. Seemed to be a reoccurring theme.
Sure
But
did.
yeah, and then when it's all done, then you can start counting your chickens. But yeah, obviously, there were times where I don't think I realized how much something was worth until after it happened, like a late bogey on Sunday. You're like, dang, that's how much that was worth. That's when it kind of came full circle for me, not necessarily when I'm on the course.
I think we train ourselves, to not indulge ourselves in those kind of thoughts because they just don't help. The players don't do that. They, to get the best out of themselves, they can't be thinking like that. So they expect the same kind of commitment from us guys that are helping them out. So when you're not in the middle of it all, sure, it enters your mind what the possibilities are. Well, certainly it did for me. I've always believed I don't get paid until the last shot's been hit, so a little bit different perhaps to Kess, as much as this costs this or this costs that. But that's just me, I know a lot of guys are like that. I can't be, or I'd be a nervous wreck.
Right.
So, it's something that crossed my mind in different times, When you're not at work, it's certainly the possibilities are exciting.
Gotcha. Well said. Yeah, I mean, and it's going to be exciting to see how the team thing even ramps up even more next year. What was that celebration like for you guys on Sunday night? And I'm curious, like, who's got the best champagne bottle spraying skills?
I mean, we all have a lot of experience in the champagne spraying.
I don't know. Both Gooch and DJ hosed me down pretty strong there. I don't know. There was a picture on Sunday of me standing there with my hands across my eyes. It wasn't because I was crying or anything. It was because Gooch nailed me right in the face and they were stinging so bad from the champagne. I don't know if anyone's got a better champagne bottle game than anyone else. Sometimes you might get unlucky on the guy with a bit of pressure behind his thumb.
Yeah. I will say I think I finally got it down on this past Sunday because I did see the video where I'm spraying it up in the air and I was like, oh, that actually worked out pretty good. Instead of trying to hit somebody else, I'm like, I'm just going to rain on everybody. But it was fun. And the party that was the finale party, they had these drones. I've never seen, I know drone technology has gone pretty wild, but they have like a couple hundred drones in the sky and literally making like all kinds of designs from a golfer to a globe with 54 on it. I mean, a ball rolling and then dropping into a hole. I didn't realize drones could do that kind of stuff until now. So trust me. I mean, I wish it was just cool. And then obviously the party, and it's pretty much all the players and the teams and the caddies and their family all together for the finale, and that was a lot of fun.
Yeah,
I know.
Yeah, was everybody there? Was everybody there? The whole
pretty much like every team, every caddy. If the wives player and caddy wives, and then obviously the LIV organization. So a lot of people in that were there. So it was kind of like a good grand finale for everybody to get together and celebrate this new thing that we've been doing for the last couple months.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I know. I spoke with Kess. We were sitting together for a little while there on Sunday night, and we're both kind of at one point sitting there half asleep because it was an exhausting weekend, man. It was a lot of intense pressure and feelings from the first ball we hit on Saturday. And that was on the back of a pretty competitive caddy match on Friday afternoon.
Yes,
while everybody else
we did
out.
play pretty well. It worked out perfectly. That was that was a great team building day.
Kess didn't straighten me out with the $2 he owes me either.
No, remember, it's 200. It's 200, Mal. It's 200.
200 pennies. That's right.
200.
Yeah. And AJ owes me 4 as well.
So you guys were off on Friday, and that's what you did with part of your day? Was it the 4 caddies played against each other?
Yep.
Yes. Yeah. We all went out and grabbed our sticks and played some golf, and that's how we spent it.
Sick. I love it. So I want to get a little bit of thoughts. The World Golf Ranking story is like a big part of this. Just what are your guys' thoughts on going into next year? Like, how important is that to your players? Is it merely have to do with entry into the majors? Like, how are you guys navigating kind of what next year may look like? Are you guys going to be playing any this fall, this winter, early next year on other tours? Like, what's your analysis of the world golf ranking thing?
So as far as my analysis of it goes, is bottom line is they have to figure something out, because there's nobody in golf, depending on whether they're pro or anti-LIV, pro or anti-tour, there's nobody that can deny the talent that's on the LIV Golf Tour, right? So any ranking system that doesn't include those players, it just completely delegitimizes. And I think anybody that loves golf would have to agree with that, given the opportunity to have an honest conversation about it. How that's going to look, I don't know. I'm not involved enough politically to know the answer to that, but it has to get sorted out. I think there's a number of ways around it. Personally, they could, the majors could maybe just offer a certain amount of exemptions to higher ranking LIV guys that aren't already exempt. They do that.
Yeah.
They do that from other tours and circumstances. So that's an idea, but it needs to be sorted out, because you can't have someone like Dustin Johnson being 120 in the world. It delegitimizes the whole thing, and it hurts the game.
Yeah,
I completely agree with what Mal said. And I mean, if you're a competitor as well, and let's say you're on a tour that has the world rankings, and it says, yeah, I'm ninth best player in the world, but then there's about 15 to 20 guys over here, and you're like, but are you? Because you got guys like Cam Smith, Dustin Johnson, Talor Gooch, Patrick Reed, Serge, the list goes on, and you're sitting there. I mean, it just illegitimizes it. The longer they wait, probably the worse it gets.
Yeah. Yeah, well, it'd be interesting to see how they sort it out. I do think the exemptions thing makes a lot of sense. That's probably a route they'll look to go. Just some final thoughts here. Just on, you go back to the middle of the summer to now here we're in the fall, just kind of how you felt like the whole tour progressed from beginning to end, and just how exciting it was to be a part of it.
It was insane, man. I look back to the first event in London, and it was an incredibly powerful and professional, tournament from the very beginning. But the evolution has been fairly incredible, from the experience of a caddy getting to travel with his player and experiencing the things at each tournament. The evolution has been very, very rapid, to the point where, again, as a caddy at the event, the experience is the equal of any professional golf tournaments I've ever worked at. It's fantastic. And they're only going to get better, but it really is top notch, as good as it gets.
I agree 100%. I mean, and the courses they picked, I pretty much liked every single course. Thought every course was up to par. And every like you said, from week one for me, Pumpkin Ridge, I said, oh, there's no snags going on. I expected a couple dropping the ball here and there, but no, everything was well thought out from the start. So definitely great, awesome experience. And so, like I said, I'm super happy to be a part of it and glad we went that direction.
And any, I know they've been doing a good job of listening to your guys' feedback as the year goes on, and now we've got kind of this little off season going on. Is there anything changes you'd like to see, or did you weigh in with them at all and say, man, we should do this differently, maybe bigger things than smaller things?
Go ahead, Kess.
I mean, maybe just as far as, the TV deal stuff is a big talk. And I get they want to be on traditional TV, but I think with the way the world is going, as far as the streaming service goes and just basically on demand for everybody from their cell phone. I mean, think how many people watch stuff from their cell phone all day. So I think that's a big factor, and I'd love a good streaming. Obviously YouTube is already great for everybody, so I'm glad but I hope they keep that route, even if they get, a normal TV deal. I still like the fact of being able to watch it on YouTube and go back to it and things like that.
Sure.
Yeah, I think I've described the LIV Tour as a can-do tour. If you go to them with an idea, their immediate response is, yes, we can do that. We can do that. Or at the very least, we're going to look into it, and we can do that. And that's refreshing. They send us a survey at the end of each week, and we're asked to give them our thoughts. And I've seen those kind of things enacted on almost weekly, to the point where if they get information from the people they ask and they think it's reasonable, then they'll act on it immediately. From a caddy perspective, obviously there were things like like shuttle schedules, things like food schedules. Time we couldn't eat. Those things are really simple, and so they change them in a heartbeat. There are two small examples, but just two that come to mind immediately. Yeah. But they're just so open to the ideas.
Yeah. Yeah, no matter where you're caddying, there's always something going on with the shuttles, right?
Well, yeah. I gotta be honest, this has been the best experience I've had ever in my caddying career for as far as shuttles go. I mean, and I said, there was a couple of times when maybe it didn't work out quite, the way we wanted it to, but as soon as it was brought to their attention, it changed.
Yeah, and I've always thought about renting a car these past couple weeks, but never did. Never went through with it, which is weird to not go through the rental car situation or anything like that. It's just like everything logistically flows real well. So
yeah, that's cool. So any plans for you guys for the off season? Are your players going to be teeing it up at all? And if not, like just for you individually, I know a lot of guys are looking forward to some time off.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to getting some rest, man. My caddy career, this is the first time that I've had this much time off, with the exception maybe of when we had COVID. So I'm looking forward to some time for my body to heal a little bit. Look forward to be able to spend a lot of time with my wife and grandkids, and kids, and just be a little more normal. We don't really live that normal life very often. So having 2.5 months off, we're not playing again until middle to late January. So I'm looking at about 2.5 months. My feet are up.
Yeah, same here. Exactly what Mel said. For me, get a little stronger, get a little healthier, play a lot of golf, see some friends, maybe go somewhere, vacation-wise. And yeah, that's about it. And we'll probably be teeing it up around the same time. It could be, Abu Dhabi or Dubai, or maybe just wait until, the season starts back up and have a real off season.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah.
Hey, well, guys, thanks for taking some time out today. Congrats again. It was great to track you guys all year long, and you got a lot to be proud of.
Thanks, man.
Thanks, John. I'm glad we finally got this done.